Hey, this is Adam with TechDevAV Club, and today we're talking about how to get started in Vegas Pro 23. This will work for most versions of Vegas Pro, but especially 23, as this is the version we're in. And if you don't have 23, I highly recommend it for a lot of reasons. You should check out my What's New in 23 video. Now, there's so much you can do in the software. We could go all day on all the things that you can do, but this video is an introduction for things that you typically do if you're new to the software, whether you're new to video editing in general or you're just new to Vegas from another video editing software. Vegas kind of has its own workflow. I love it. It's really simple and easy to follow, encapsulated kind of stuff, and let me show you how it works. So this is the splash screen. If you don't want to see this one in startup, you can uncheck it here. I don't mind it showing up, so I leave this checked. Also, in this panels here, you can select New Project, Open Project, where you can see projects you've recently opened, or Getting Started, where you can kind of find some of the tutorials and things, probably some things we're talking about today. First off, when we go to New Project here, this is mostly what you're going to do. You can see it says widescreen, full screen, portrait, square, and scope. These are just the aspect ratio your video is going to be in. That matters because this is how you're going to view it back when you watch it. Don't worry about what your footage is. Worry about what you want your footage to end up as. So if you're making a YouTube short, you might want to select portrait. We're just going to go with a typical widescreen video today and hit Create Project. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go to View, Window Layout, and I'm going to hit Default Layout. The reason I wanted to show you that is, one, this is how yours looks right when you start it. If you ever get your view messed up, where you've moved windows, you've got things too small, you've exited out of windows, you might need a window back, you can always just go to View, Window Layouts, and hit Default Layout. So you may notice as you navigate through Vegas that there is key commands next to everything. It's just showing you that when you've found something that you like, if you would like to do it very quickly, there is a way to do that through keyboard commands. Most everything has a keyboard command. We're going to talk about a few of the common ones today. Notice there's lots of different tabs you can cycle through to get to different tools and options in Vegas. And you can also resize these panels. You can move the tabs and things, but right now we're just going to keep it simple. But just letting you know there is places things can be moved and redocked. I'm going to do a separate video about customizing Vegas. When you go to project media, this is where I like to drop things in. There's all sorts of tagging and stuff you can do to do some really complicated sorting. You don't have to do any of that. And for the majority of kind of simple videos, you don't have to do that at all. Grab a Windows Explorer menu and just drag in what you want. You can drag in pictures, audio, or video. Today, I'm just going to grab some video, but the tenets are the same for all of them that we're going to talk about. When you drag any video to the timeline, you can see that you can scrub through it here with the scrubber, or you can arrow through it with arrow keys. Or you can watch it back. This is audio, video, picture, whatever you've drug in. You can watch it back over time with this play, pause, and stop. Stop will return the cursor back to where it started, while pause will leave the cursor where it is. It will start, the video will always start where the cursor is. So you can see I can click different parts of the video above it here, or on it, and I can display different parts of the video. Now, if I want to cut this video in half, I can do so by simply hitting the S key. Now I have two versions of the same video. If I need to make this video even shorter, notice I can grab the side of it and create this trim event here. This is where you can cut the video frame by frame with your mouse. You can also re-extend it and grow the video back to its original length and still having two copies of the video. I do want you to note here where this notch appears, that means I'm looping the video. So if I continue on, it will always loop every time I reach the end of it. So you can make the video longer, but you just note that right here, this little notch is where it's restarting again, whether from the beginning or the end. It's where the video is looping. You can save the project by going to File, Save, or Save As. Save As for the first time. Just name the project whatever you need to name it. And then the next time you open it, you can open it. If you go to File and Open, you can open it by finding the .veg file you named. You can create a new project by going to the New Empty Project button in the top left-hand corner. If you would like to cut these into smaller pieces before you drag them into the timeline, you can go over here to the trimmer window and drag them into the trimmer and then create smaller pieces of the video. You have your controls play, stop, and pause here to see what you've got video-wise. When you're done with the clip that you want, you can see right here, this is the in and out of the clip, these little yellow pieces. It's called the loop region. When you've got what you want selected from the clip, you can hit Add to Timeline, and then that clip is now added to the timeline. Or, more commonly, you can grab the clip and just drag it to the timeline itself. And you can see here I have the shortened version of the timeline versus the longer version of the video on the timeline, because that's what the trimmer is for, is to pre-cut things while you're going to do most of your cutting right here on the timeline. If you're having trouble seeing it clearly, you can go to here and pick your version. This is more pixelated, but it's also faster to render. But you can go to the best and full, and then here you will see that the video is in its clearest state. You can see too, I've got some baseline audio. As I'm just kind of ambient noise there. You can see that audio is in the output meter. So like this shows you the kind of final video. This shows you the final audio and its audio levels. But you can also see here when I drug it in, I have a track for video and a track for audio. The audio track will also show you the levels of the audio specific to that track. So next, let's talk about putting videos in order. So let's say we want to do a video. I just drug this cup in here. And I want this to come first and then this to come second. All I have to do is drag it and put it where I want it. When you touch another event, that's what these are called, events. When you touch another event, it will kind of glow and show you that it's perfectly frame touching. As you know, video is something that happens over time. So while this is each frame, as I click through, this right here, this cursor shows you exactly what the frame of video you're on. But imagine like a film strip, every frame is laid out over time. So you can see the waveform of the audio laid out over time, and you can see the video laid out over time. And we can change the order by sliding one in front of the other. We can change the position, or however you need to do it, just by clicking and dragging. If you want a video to layer on top of another video, you can add a track by right-clicking and hitting Insert Video Track, in which case you can then put a video on top of another. You can see the audio mixes here. Well, if you don't want the audio to mix when you put one video on top of another, what you can do is also hit right-click and Insert Audio Track when you're selecting an audio track. And now you can move the audio track separately as well. So now we have layered audio and layered video. It's not going to sound very pretty, but so you can hear the glass, but you can't see it because I have one video covering up another. Well, there's multiple ways you can do things with this. We're going to talk about effects in a minute, but first off, I want to show you fades and levels and cuts. So if you want this video shorter, you can grab the video right here on the side. You can see my cursor turns into the trim event, and I can simply scoot this closer and closer and cut off frames until I get it where I want. If I want it shorter on the other side, I can do that as well. But you notice these blue bars at the top, that's opacity. You can essentially lower the opacity, and now you can see through it, right? It lets you see how see-through the video is. Well, if you would like to do a fade on that, you can grab the corner here, and you can create the opacity and make a fade line. You can right-click and change the fade type to become something different. And then you can see that over time, this is at 60 frames per second. You can see hear my audio notes to myself when I was filming that video. But you can see that it changes the rate in which it changes its opacity. And that's how you do a fade transition. So if I wanted to fade from black, I could grab the corner here, and then notice now it fades up to black. If I hit mute on any track, whether it's a video or audio track, you will no longer see it or hear it, depending on if it's video or audio. Now these tracks are acting as if they're irrelevant. If you render a video this way, which we'll cover in a moment, that will also be the case. This is as is. What you see here is what you should get in the rendering box. So if you unmute these, they come back. I'm going to leave the audio muted from here on out so I can show you what I'm doing without having to talk over the audio. But I do want you to also know there's this S button. S means solo. If you hit solo, it is a whitelist for what's allowed to be shown. So if I hit solo, that means the only video track that can be seen right now is this one, the one that I've hit solo for. Track meaning anything on this line. So if I have this event on it as well, I just added an audio track where I didn't want one. I'll show you how to deal with that in just a second. But anything on this video track will be soloed. So right now I can see the Korok, but if I solo the track below it, the video track below it, now I can see this, but I can't see the Korok. So that's a very good way to sort media when you're trying to see what's going on as you're editing. So this audio right here, I don't want it in the shot. I don't want it up here because right now I have a video track. Now if you double click on any track, you can name it. I'm going to name this, for your sake, video 1, then audio not wanted, and then video 2. I can move these tracks by clicking and dragging and picking the order in which I want them to be. Typically, you want to keep your audio tracks together, but that may or may not be how you want to do it. If you want to add something without adding the audio, if you right-click when you drag it in, and then you let go, you can hit video only or audio only across time. I hit audio only across time, and now I added an audio track again to where I didn't want one. If I want to delete any track, I just select the track and I hit the delete key. You can opt to not show this message again, but it will usually warn you that if you're deleting a track, you're also deleting any media on the track. So not only will I delete this track right here, but any video, any event that's on this track is going to disappear. I want that to happen, so I'm going to hit yes, and now it's gone. So we're getting close to kind of having everything we need for our beginner tutorial done, because now we know how to add multiple things. But let's go ahead and add some basic things like a transition. Now I'm going to put this video here and I'm going to smash them together. And you can see what happens. This is a crossfade. So let's say I want this crossfade here, but I don't want any of these audio. Not only can I mute them, I can also just delete the audio. So these are what's called grouped. Because the audio and the video are linked, they are grouped together. I can ignore groupings by coming down here and clicking Ignore Event Groupings. Then these will act like they're not grouped. If I select this back, they will be grouped again. I'm going to hit Control Z a couple of times. That's how to undo any mistakes you have. Then you can, but with ignore event groupings on, I can also just delete things that might not be advantageous, like this audio. Then I can turn the groupings back on and act as if everything's normal. You can see that these will now move again together. So now let's make a video. We can add transitions and we can add effects very easily. So first off, let's add a transition. So any place that's got a crossfade is really a type of transition. So if you want to make some fancier transition, what we can do is we can go to transitions and we can add any one of these transitions here. You can look through and notice that there's a preview of what it will look like. There are much more subtle ones, much more intense ones. Just depends on what you want. We're going to go with this one because it's very visual and you can see it. If you watch this page reel, it will page roll from black and reveal the video. If I don't want it, I can just select it and then hit this remove selected plugin button. This will let you add one, save a preset, or remove one. We'll talk about those more in a different video. But right now we're just going to hit this one with an X on it to remove it. And now the transition is gone. If you want it to apply to both of these where the crossfade is, if you drag it here, you'll notice it will peel up one video and have the other video behind it. It's that simple. So now we've got a transition and we've got a fade, but now let's add a video effect. A common effect people like, I just exited out of that window there, is to go to video effects and you can go to chroma key. Chroma key is essentially how to do green screen effects and things like that. I have a blue screen effect here. I'm just going to grab the blue screen effect and drop it onto this video. Just drag and drop. Boom. That mostly works. I have a whole series of videos about how to do much more complicated versions of this, but this basic green screen will do the job just fine today. So now you can see that now that I've removed the color blue, I can see the video behind it. Another common effect we want to add is the picture-in-picture effect. So you can search effects by typing in anything you would like. I know what I'm looking for, so I'm going to type PI for picture-in-picture, and you can see it sorts it right here for me. It previews where it's going to put the picture, but you can move it anywhere you'd like afterwards. If I drag the picture-in-picture effect on here, you can see that now I can resize and move this Korok anywhere I want to go. The slight change of color is because the blue screen wasn't a perfect match for this one. Again, that's going to have to be for a separate video. But I do want to show you more what that effect does. If I take this page roll away and put this video up here, I can draw the picture-in-picture here as well, and you can see that now I have a picture over top of a picture. It essentially lets me resize it into anything, any location I want. I'm going to hit Control-Z a few times to get it back to how it was, which includes that also removes effects. So now I can resize things, layer things, add transitions, add effects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this effect again, this little button right here. Now I can get to my effects. For my sake, I'm going to rein in the blue and the green thresholds because this is where all of your effect specific options are. You can see the picture-in-picture effects are here if I select this part of the chain. But if I select this part of the chain, the picture-in-picture, I'm selecting the chroma key related controls. I fixed that up. Now, I would like to move it around, but I just closed out that window. How do I get back to it? Well, if you hit this FX button again, and you make sure that the item you want to affect is selected, oftentimes there are controls right here on the screen. I'm going to make it to where the Korok seems to pop out of the cup. I can also make him a little see-through to kind of make it look like maybe he's in the cup a little bit. All right. So I'm going to exit out of that, and I'm going to drag it to where this Korok pops out of the cup the moment the ice falls in. I'm going to use the arrow keys on the keyboard. That's the first moment it's in. So I'm going to drag the Korok to touch right there, and now we can watch him appear right when the ice hits the cup. There we go. It's a silly little video with a crossfade to a field. Doesn't make any sense, but it's ours. You could move everything to the start if you would like. I'm going to highlight and hit delete there. But if you notice, if you move this one video, you've messed it up, right? Now you want to move everything to the start, but now you mess it up. I'm going to hit Control Z. If I move this to the start, notice that I've messed up the video. Nothing follows it. So I'm going to hit the F key and notice that everything in the track will follow behind it. I'm going to hit Control Z twice though, because I want more than just everything in the track to follow behind it. I want everything to follow behind it. So I'm going to go to this very important key right here called Auto Ripple. And I can go down here and it says I can move the affected tracks, bus markers and regions, or all tracks, markers, and regions. We're going to leave all tracks, markers, and regions selected. I'm going to turn this on right here, and then you can see I can move everything together instead of breaking it. Now I can move this to the very start. It doesn't have to be at the start to render a video. I just want to show you that you can move it all together. In fact, we'll leave it, to make a point, we'll leave it right here. I'm going to unselect this, and so now everything's back to normal, where when I move something, it doesn't move everything. And I'm going to select the beginning and the end of this video here with a loop region. Now, if I go above the timeline and click and drag, you can see I can select a certain area, and I can move this around. If I want the very beginning of it, just like a clip, you can drag it to the front, drag it to the end, and now I essentially have this whole video highlighted. I can just go to File, Render, give it just a moment there, and now I can pick the kind of video I want. For a beginner, what I suggest is just going to Use Cases, and maybe you're doing something like YouTube. You can select YouTube here, and it will automatically pick the best settings for YouTube. Or if you want to know more exactly what you're doing, you can go to Video. For this video, I'm going to select Internet 1080p 29.97 frames per second. And I'm going to do the AMD version, so my graphics card helps render it, which should be faster. You might see Intel or NVIDIA by yours, depending on what kind of graphics card you may or may not have. This will use the CPU to render it. You will get very similar results with both. It's just more of a speed and preference idea. So I'm going to render it using my graphics card here. And you can see I can turn the preview on and off right here. That might help your computer do it faster if you have a weaker computer. And I have Open Folder when rendering is complete selected, which should be selected by default. That pops up with folder, and now I can see all this different stuff on my desktop, and I can grab the example vid, which I can drag it right back to the timeline here, and now see it. I'm going to hit close to close that render box, and now see the whole example vid as it is. I'm going to scroll through it real quick so you can see the Korok and then the page wipe. It's all rendered in with only the audio here we got left. All right, so that is how to use Vegas Pro 23 if you are a beginner. There are tons more cool things we can do. Like I'm going to show you that J reverses it, K pauses it, and L moves forward. And also the spacebar stops and plays and stops the video, depending on the setting you have right here. Make spacebar F12 play stop instead of play pause. We can keep going and going and going. There are tons and tons of things that we can do in Vegas. It feels unlimited, and I'm excited to show you more of this stuff on this channel, but this should be everything you need to kind of drop stuff in, get started, and make a simple video. So let me know if you have any questions below, and I will see you guys next time. If you purchase Vegas Pro 23 through my affiliates link, that helps out this channel a ton.